Hej och välkomna tillbaka. Nu ska vi gå vidare och lyssna på Savosolar och Jari Varjotie. Välkommen.
Thank you. Tack så mycket. All right, okay. So, good afternoon or evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to give you an update on Savosolar in the coming 20 minutes. So, let's start. So, fossil fuels will be soon gone. The pressure for the reduction of the harmful emissions is so big by the governments and people, so basically all of us. As an example here, a city of Helsinki is closing its coal power plant 2 years in advance compared to the original plan, and meaning also that one coal pile will disappear from the eyes of the citizens. And this is just one example of the development happening in different cities and countries all over in the world. We here in Finland and Sweden believe biomass will replace the fossil fuels in district heating, mostly, meaning to change the coal piles to piles of food chips and continuous flow of trucks or ships to carry more of it to the district heating plants. And even though as a Finn, I agree that here in Finland and Sweden we do have wood to burn, and here it is a renewable energy source. I am pretty sure, based on the ongoing discussions by the politicians and energy sector, that, for example, in European Union, biomass will be giving a tax or other treatment, so it also will be ruled out sooner or later. So we can say that biomass is an intermediate solution to get rid of fossil fuels, good in that, and it's good to remember it's not the mean to get rid of all emissions. So what is the alternative? Savosolar has the perfect alternative. It's large-scale solar heating systems which produce genuinely clean, affordable heat. The benefits of large-scale solar heating have been recognized now widely, and this is clearly visible in the market behavior, of which I will tell you more later in this presentation. First, few words about Savosolar, especially for those who are not familiar with us yet. So Savosolar is a leading provider of industrial scale turnkey thermal energy plants, and with our own large collectors. So these systems produce heat, not electricity. I always try to remember to say that. We have delivered large systems so far, over 100,000 square meters, mainly in Denmark, Germany, and France. And our customer segments are district heating and heat for industrial processes. On the right upper corner, you can see also one picture of our field in Denmark. And all these systems and collectors we deliver are based on our own technology, which is recognized to be of highest quality and best performing technology in the industry. Here you can see company milestones. So company was founded end of 2009. We entered this market where we now are large-scale system market in 2014-15 successfully, after making in the beginning smaller solar heating systems and developing the technology. We were listed in first node growth markets Sweden and Finland in 2015, and in last years we have gained the market leader position in France, just to mention a few points from this line. This illustrates our turnkey delivery concept and content. So in addition to our own collectors, we are delivering rather many other elements depending on the customer needs in each project. So a turnkey installation, and we use local partners or subcontractors always to make the customer happy. I mentioned that we have delivered so far over 100,000 square meters of large-scale systems, which is currently the largest installed base among our peers in the main markets we operate. We are very proud of the amount we have delivered, of course, but especially proud we are of the impact we have helped our customers to make to our planet in the fighting climate change. Calculated from the energy produced, our systems save annually, the current systems save annually 5,000 tons of oil and 14,000 tons of CO2 emissions, which both are rather significant numbers in my mind. And in the future, there will be more coming. As we all know, there is a very active work in European Union and all over the world for decarbonization and climate neutrality. It is clear that solar heating will be an important role in these actions. In this slide, there are some recent news which are related also to solar heating and meaning also our business. They are shown here as rather small boxes, so I wanted to highlight only a few of them to keep the presentation in the given time frame. So let's look some of them. First, Germany. There is high-level activity in Germany in all emission reduction actions, of course, depending on political moods as in every country. But still, the plans for large-scale solar heating, especially in district heating, are very ambitious. Germany will at least triple the current installed base in solar district heating in few years only. We know that many German district heating companies have made or are making their own investment decisions for large systems. And this development we see pretty much so that the systems we are asked to offer or coming on the design table are already clearly bigger in size than they were 2 years ago. 2 years ago, the plans project were something like few thousands of square meters and investments of 1 to 2 million euros. And now we see more and more systems in Germany which sizes are 15,000, 20,000, 35,000 square meters. This means also significantly bigger investment values and project to suppliers like us. The values of these are more often between 5 and 10 million euros. And this is also why we have to take care of that we have a strong solidity, so we can credibly offer and deliver this type of projects. Then Poland. Poland, even though known as a large coal mining country, is also making strong actions to improve the carbon emission levels in their district heating networks. And solar district heating is one elementary part of their intentions. And as you can see, the market potential for the next coming years in Poland is also significant. Just some weeks ago, the French company Newheat announced that they have made an agreement with a company in Croatia that they will develop and invest in the largest industrial solar heat project in Europe. So in Croatia to deliver heat for a malt drying plant. One such solar plant for malt drying factory has been operational in France this year. So we have delivered it. And this is an excellent example of the situation when one company in certain industry makes such an investment. Companies with similar processes or similar factories see the opportunity and follow the same path. I believe there will be similar cases coming in other industries also, and perhaps also in the malt drying industry. We have stated quite a long time that we work with both district heating and industrial process heating with our systems. Here is illustrated, in addition to the district heating, the industrial process heating segments we have decided to focus in. And focus here means that we have been building our know-how of those segments so we can help customers in those areas to design and optimize their systems when they start the planning of their clean heating option for themselves. In pulp and paper and food sectors, we already have references, and we have several projects in design phase, both in greenhouses and mining segments. Naturally, in mining as well as in food sector, only certain minerals or certain factory certain minerals and the excavation process need heat. Some mines produce heat instead. But for example, copper, cadmium, potash are examples where heat is really needed when making the mineral to copper, for example. Same applies to greenhouses. It was a sort of surprise for me that some of them need certain level of heating throughout the whole year. And then, of course, some of them need even heat removal. So it depends on where you are, what type of plant you are cultivating. And then district heating, of course, we have started in this segment and continue to deliver and participate in tenders in different countries, mainly in Europe, because Europe is active and also the district heating market is pretty much here, at least in here at this moment. Here you can see mosaic picture of our deliveries in district heating segments, over 85,000 square meters so far. And newest ones which are under delivery phase are Bonn, Cadaullac and Narbonne in France, and then Guangzhou in China. Then some reference cases. Kreutzwald was taken in operation this year, and its owner LFDE operates with the municipality owned energy companies and sells to them heat in several locations in that region. This was their first solar district heating system when they are also cleaning their portfolio, and potentially there will be new ones for them later. This picture is from Sudan, so it's a system owned by Kötherm, who sells heat to Bourg melt factory, as already explained earlier. So this is the largest solar heating system in France, significantly the largest. And as we saw in the market news, it is also an inspiration to new systems in this industry. The CO2 emission reduction is also with this systems significant, as well as the savings compared to the gas cost, natural gas cost in the coming years. This I have presented already a few times. So New Heat's own system producing heat for a paper mill in France, Condat, France, and with collectors installed on one-axis trackers. Due to the trackers, the annual energy yield from the sun is bigger than it would be from stationary collector field. And maybe even more importantly, the production can easily be stopped if there is a maintenance break or something in the paper mill. In Bonn, which is a solar district heating plant, New Heat has also trackers, and that system we started this summer. Additionally, we are now delivering the system in Guangzhou with trackers. And we believe that there will be more need for such systems in the future, especially in the industrial side. So from the customer point of view, when they want to reduce emissions, for example, from using natural gas, they have to consider first what clean heating source they would like to use. Even though solar thermal is not always the best possible solution, for example, you don't have enough space, land area available, large solar heating has clear positive elements like independent and stable cost energy supply without any emissions for 25 years. Then they have to choose the best supplier for them. The market is growing, so the competition is also intensifying, but anyhow, Savosolar has the most credible track record and proven expertise in large-scale solar heating. And most importantly, our customers are satisfied for the delivery and the energy production of the system, as well as the way we handle the relationship after the delivery. And basically, we always say to the new customers that you can call any of our existing customers, and you just pick up and call, phone and call. As a summary of my presentation, a few points. As we know and discussed earlier, the decarbonizing and fighting climate change are happening all around of us. As part of that, also heating must change from fossil fuels and from burning something towards genuinely clean heat. That development is happening in district heating and by industrial companies. Project sizes are going up and the forthcoming investments are estimated to be huge. So this all means that the market potential is higher, currently higher than ever. And Savosolar, we have the largest installed base among the existing players in our main markets. So very good track records, excellent references, and customers who are satisfied in our capability to deliver and in our high-performing technology. So with this market potential and these elements, we certainly are having all the fundamentals in place for rapid growth. So Savosolar helps communities and companies to reduce CO2 emissions with clean heat. Thank you. I'm happy to answer for any questions if something comes up.
For an interesting presentation. Obviously, you will take part in the energy change in Europe, the mix of energy in Europe going forward. I just wanted to ask you to elaborate a little bit. I mean, you have mentioned that bottlenecks in the supply chain have affected you earlier. Has that been easing now, or do you still see problems due to COVID for your supply chains?
Yeah, COVID had some effect last year, especially the French and German market was completely shut down for 4 months. There's no traveling or anything over there. So all the installation and everything had to stop down. There were hotels closed and no transportation, everything. But I have to say now that now it looks like that everything is gradually coming back to normal. Of course, we don't know. We see what happens in Israel and China is another question, but still it looks like that at least in Europe, everything seems to be going well now with the COVID. And then another one, of course, is that the overheated material market in construction business and everything has been also having that we have some, everybody has availability issues for materials and everything, but that we also have been very successfully been able to handle so far, and we see now that also is changing towards a different direction.
Okay, thank you very much. You have been mentioning the Green Deal program in Europe, and you think that will move forward during this quarter. Do you think that will happen, or will it take more time for the Green Deal program to actually be a complete realization of the ambitions from the politics?
As always, everything takes longer time than expected from European Commission and European Union. Certainly that will happen also, but it has already happened during this year, that beginning of year. We know many companies have been waiting for the governmental decisions and the program decisions in their own countries, that before they make the final decision how they go and what they do and when they do. And now it looks like that there is already so many things happening in many of the countries, not all, but many of the countries, that we see that things are advancing. And certainly, yes, something will be postponed, but we see the main markets where we are now working, they look at least very positive at this moment.
Okay. Very interesting. When you in your report you mention your order backlog, and could you elaborate a little bit about your pipeline and offers in the market? How is that developing?
Well, how I see it, it looks like that there is some kind of bottleneck. So there's the bottle is getting bigger and bigger, but the neck is not opening. Or the cork is still stopping there. So there's more and more projects coming in the pipeline, and bigger projects, especially in Europe, but also outside Europe. There are couple of tens of thousands of projects we are working outside Europe also now in the design table. So the beginning of the year has been a bit disappointment in that sense, that we have been also waiting that the decisions come up, and now it looks like that finally they start to happen in different pace than expected. So seen earlier this year.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, if you follow Savosolar, you can expect that the order backlog will grow going forward in the next couple of quarters, or.
Yes, we believe so. We are at least working very hard to make it happen. Of course, as I said, the competition is intensifying, and but we are able to make very competitive and offers both technological point of view and an economical point of view now. We have seen that also.
Yeah. Okay. So even if the competition is increasing, you find your own position as quite good in the market compared to your...
Yes, we find our position strong, and we actually think it is good that there are more competitors coming in. It's telling that the market is growing and there's more interest in there. So it is, in my mind, also accelerating the process coming up from the customer side when they see that this is happening around.
Yeah, I understand. Jari, you raised some money historically and also in the near term, but when you grew your business, how is your need of cash? Is that to finance bigger projects and stuff like that? Do you have enough capital at Savosolar to execute on your strategy?
Well, we announced yesterday a new rights issue,
yeah.
And that's mainly because we see that now we are working with so big project that we have to strengthen our solidity further. It has been all the time strong, but we see that we have to strengthen it, that we are a credible company to deliver and offer these big projects. And then, of course, for the project, when we get an order, we have a payment milestones, but we have also now been able to negotiate with our bank a project financing facility. So when we get the project, we have a facility that we can sort of finance that. So it's not only that we have to get cash to be able to deliver the project. So we can play on that better than earlier. So that's also a positive development.
Okay, so including the share issue, you are comfortable with your finances.
Well, at this moment, yeah, it looks also rather, I would say, balanced.
Yeah. Jari, of course, an interesting question for, I think, all investors. When do you think you will be a profitable company?
Well, this has been asked, and we are asking also, of course, ourselves this, and we are doing all the work we can to do that. We haven't been giving this forecast earlier, and I don't give it now, but I can promise that we do our utmost to be there, and we definitely will be there in the near future, coming future.
I thought that you had that question before.
Yes.
We will follow your news flow and see what's happening. When it comes to Savosolar and your product portfolio, do you think is it complete, or do you think, I mean, you are a listed company, do you look at bolt-on acquisitions or at competitors to buy, or are you entirely focusing on executing on your strategy and organic growth?
Well, our strategy has always been to work with partners, and sometimes they are rather strong partners also who can then sort of support delivering large-scale systems and everything. We are a technology company, and and we have in our company more engineers than human beings. As I always say, I'm also an engineer, so I can say that. So it's something that we of course look for all new developments all the time. We don't put very much investment on there, but we have some clever minds in our organization, few guys who are. So we try to figure it out, and of course we see that more and more there will be different kind of hybrid systems. So solar thermal is not only one solution; there has to be something else. So we also look opportunities how we can combine solar thermal with something else. So yes, we are looking also different type of developments on this, but we'll then see what happens on that.
Yeah, but not the acquisitions, right? More.
Not. Well, you never say never in this type of things.
No, you never say never.
But in our current situation, of course, I think we first have to grow and get volumes, and then maybe, but you never know.
Yeah, of course, I understand. If the time flies, we don't have that much time left, sadly. But Jari, if we look for the next 6 months or 9 months or something like that, what kind of risks do you see for you to when it comes to execute on your plans? Is it increased competition, or is it slow decision making because of COVID, or anything like that? Something else?
I think that the same main risk applies still. That these projects are usually they take a long time to mature to the final decision. So some of them has been 3 years in our pipeline, and we have been continuously working with the customer. So I think that is the main risk, that the decision will not happen as fast as we expect and hope. Of course, there are so many projects that definitely something happens. I don't see the competition as a main risk. Of course, it's a nuisance as always, but it's also keeping you trapped. But I think that the decision making, either COVID, which I hope will not happen, or then waiting for the EU programs or something else, or then building permits, that is the biggest risk for the next 6 to 12 months, I would say.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jari. I think that time flies, as I described. I think we're running out of time. Thank you for an interesting presentation, and
welcome.
We hear again from you, I guess.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a nice